Okay, in this video I'm going to walk you through getting your website put up onto shared hosting. I happen to use a company called DreamHost. There are many companies out there that do shared hosting. That's about how 98 to 99% of all websites are hosted. Outside of that, there are other options such as self-hosting, virtual private servers, and even businesses will have and own their own hosting. We are going to use DreamHost, just a company I use, and we're going to use what's called a subdomain of Swanee.net. So you can go get your own domain. We're not going to do that for this class. We're going to use a subdomain on Swanee.net, but it works pretty much the same. It just doesn't require you to have a unique URL. So what we're seeing here now is we're in Dreamweaver, and we have our website pretty much ready to go, and it's all on local files. So we want to be able to put this on a web server. So in order to do that, I have to be able to set up a remote server. You'll see as I switch, if I'm in my files palette and I switch to remote server, I don't have anything defined here. Even if I try to connect, it's going to say you need to set this up. Alright, so that's what we're going to do, but before we can set this up, I'm going to need to be able to go to my web host and get all of my login credentials. So let's go ahead and do that now, and we'll come back to this later. So the company I use is DreamHost. There are other ones out there. There's 1&1, there's HostGator, there's GoDaddy, there's Network Solutions, there's quite a few. And they all have slightly different features, but relatively speaking, they're close to the same cost, and they do a really good job. All right, I'm going to log in here since I already have an account, and this would be the experience you have once you've purchased web hosting from a company. And a lot of times, wherever you register your domain name, they also offer web hosting. So you can do it all in the same place if you want to. But you don't have to. You can host in a different location than where you registered your website. You just have to know how to set up DNS servers, and usually it's by putting in specific name servers. I'll maybe point that out when we get there. So this is the dashboard that you get when you're in DreamHost. Different hosting companies will have different dashboards, so this isn't going to necessarily work the same with every company. In this case, what I want to be able to do is be able to set up my domains. So I'm going to come over here to manage my domains. And here you see a list of domain names that we have set up. And you can even see that we've already got a start on some of the student domain names. So I'm going to create a few more. And all I have to do is hit add hosting to a domain subdomain. You'll have a feature similar to that. I'm just going to create a new domain or subdomain. So in this case, now you won't have to be doing this. I'll be doing this for all of the students, but you will need to have your username and your password. Everyone will have a unique username and password. So one of the students that we need to get is Nathan, and it'll be at nathan.swanee.net. That's the website that we're setting up. In this case, I have options to keep or leave www. I'm going to not keep the www. It makes a lot more sense to have it read nathan.swanee.net without a www in front of it. It just starts to get a little kludgy. So let's create a username. In this case, it'll be Nathan Rockstar. Now, in some cases, your web hosting company might assign you a username and you don't get to create your own username. It just depends. They all vary. And that's really all you have to do is you have to set up what's the domain name going to be called and what your user is. Now, these folks will generate a password for me. I don't have the choice of choosing my own password. It's just how this company works. So let's set up that account, and at the same time it's setting up an account, it's setting up a user. So we've set up the user Nathan Rockstar on this particular server, which is a virtual private server. Yours will look a little bit different if you have a shared plan. And then here is the password. So I'm going to copy that and put that on a text file for the class. Now, coming back to the name servers, here is what you would have to enter into your DNS settings on your domain registrar if you wanted to point your website to this hosting. And that's all there is to it. Most of the time, you actually write in what it's called. So you'll use these. You'll get 1, 2, 3, or 4 fields at your hosting company. Most of the time I see 2, but sometimes you'll get 3, and DreamHost has 3 that you can put in. If you only get 2, that's fine. You can just put 2 in, and it's going to work just the same. So I've got this password. I'm going to go ahead and copy that to the text edit. So we've created a list of names here. So this will be for nathan.swanee.net. The user is Nathan_Rockstar, and that's the password. Okay, and that's all there is to it. And you'll see that there's a clock here. It'll take a little while for that to actually take place and for that hosting to be set up. But eventually it will be set up, and then you'll be able to use the credentials to log in. So I'm going to create a couple more. I'm going to shut this video off for now. I'll create a second video that shows you how to use FTP and set up your FTP window in Dreamweaver so you can start moving the files. But I wanted a quick video to show you how we actually set that up on a hosting account and where you would get those credentials in those name servers. Alright, so then the next video after this one we will talk about how to actually set the credentials and post the files to the server so our website works.